Hey everybody, your lovely DMM here, just to let you know that all show notes have moved to the end of the episode, so if you want to stay updated on what we're doing here on the show, or what is coming in future seasons, please make sure you stay tuned all the way through to the end to find out. That's all here at the beginning of the episode, so without further ado, last time on Dungeons, Drive-Ins, and Dice.
Slippy, you're back.
That mission was very well accomplished, and he enjoyed our services here at the Delta Dawn.
Oh, so a total success. That's fantastic. I think coming back on a success on this one is going to be real good for the station as a whole.
Yep, there were no problems with that part of our excursion.
So what? No bad news then. Is that the bad
Nope.
news? Is that
I told you. Are you ready for the bad news? Unfortunately,
the bad?
Cookie gave her life in the line of duty to make sure that the mission was a full success. It was very heroic.
That is the bad news, huh? Oh, we can have a service for her here. Do a Delta burial.
We were actually going to try and find out what the tradition is for Cookie's species. We were going to see if there were any records about where Cookie's from over.
I can have some files pulled on that information for you guys when you come
Great.
back for a debriefing. You guys met Jeremy Pevins, yeah? Something happened with Mr. Pevins, and he went on a total rampage. He harmed several people and is hiding somewhere on the station. Something's whack with him. As for the good news, I think that you folks will be. I think I'll leave it to as you folks return.
And at the end of the call,
Mascot, too.
you can see in the distance a bright object beyond this asteroid belt that cuts around the planet. The object is much brighter than you folks remember it being upon any time that you've seen it in the past. The Delta station is lit top to bottom, full power lights going. Just
Oh wow, did something happen with the 43% of the power that the station can't use?
And now we return to our adventure.
The
We
brown
talked
note.
about level ups. You folks have some credits to spend. There's been some moderate updates to the merchant's store. Some minor rare tech has been added into the easily accessible stuff. I will put an option on there that isn't there right now, so we'll just go by my word, and that is that there probably is a you choose style thing on the rare tech where maybe 100 credits. You tell me what this piece of rare tech that you want does, and you roll probably charisma, and based on that is what you'll get in return if you want to add to that. But yeah, so there's some options. Everything is accessible because after this mission is you guys just have access to everything that the ship has to offer. Yeah, so look through some stuff, see if there's any way you want to spend. While you folks we'll say this level up is happening, you guys are sharing some experiences back in your pad and sort of lamenting about a lost teammate. Hyatt, you found yourself down in the tech bay. It's pretty low energy down here today. There's only a few workers working about at various tables across the room. You are easily able to approach. There is a table with some varied chemistry equipment atop it, and underneath of it is a vent on the wall that is the vent from the diagram.
And there's technicians and people in here?
There are a few technicians. They don't seem to be overtly focused on you. They seem to be doing their work. One of them may have said
Good enough.
morning as you entered, but
They're pretending to look busy.
They're spinning around in their chairs, 360s.
All right.
making eye contact with everyone.
So, yep, just direct eye contact with everybody. Very scientific. Is there anyone who seems to be the chief?
Core is always here. Core is a sentient Basically, AI, huge bot built into the room that runs on these tracks. The tracks themselves are movable, so like it can go anywhere in the room, but this whole little area moves on a little track in the ceiling that kind of moves with it to help it move anywhere. But it's this giant, it's basically like a ball with an eye on it, and then it has some little like spindly thin working arms that can come out of it in multiple places to do the tech work that it does.
I'm gonna go to Core then. You are technical lead Core, correct?
That is correct. How can I help you, Hyatt Cola?
Might I borrow a moment of your time over here? And I start walking towards the ventilation shaft.
It follows. Certainly. What may I help you with?
Would you be able to access the security feeds to see if there was any unusual activity near this vent?
There is several beeps and boops as lights process across the body, and then a little slat drops down, and a sort of projector beam shoots out to the wall, and it shows you a little security feed of. It seems to be broken up by static. Like they start at a time in which the bay is still. Everyone seems to be asleep. The little time reads late in the evening, and it's fast forwarding, and all of a sudden it starts staticking out, and it goes into normal play. And in between the static, you get a frame or two of just that little blob coming out from underneath this table. And after a few seconds, the frame just returns to normal, and another really fast forward for like an hour, and then the static picks back up, and through those frames you get the shape of the blob going back under the table. And they're saying,
Um,
whoa,
or
that's different on the feeds.
what can you tell me about the provenance of this static? Can it
uh
be analyzed? Can any idea where it may have originated from?
the static, it shouldn't be on the feeds. That'll happen every now and then during solar rays or like various solar events in this near sector, but it there's nothing on the logs of something like that happening. So that would be due to interference from inside the ship. It seems
Hmm.
well timed that this thing exited and entered during static. Would lead me to believe it could be interference from within,
Foul play.
based on
Okay.
all the algorithms I've run.
If this math checks out,
How big is the vent?
So it's actually pretty big. You could like even crawling on all fours, you have a little bit of space above you. I mean
Yeah.
that makes
Okay.
sense to me as well, just because like we're in the science bay, like as much airflow as possible,
Makes
or
sense.
cutting
Definitely
off
makes
of, yeah,
sense.
proper
I'm
airflow,
gonna
I'll
get in the
say.
vent.
Okay. Cora says, you you just going on in there?
What other choice do I have?
In the name of science, I guess let me know what you find. Am I part of this investigation now? Or are you just asking a few
You
questions? It's more from the DM, I
you
guess.
oh
Then it's
no
unnecessary.
no he's Core is not a person of interest.
All right, well,
I
enjoy
do
the
actually want to
vents.
know how long ago was that the most recent iteration of static?
While you were on the ship, within the last week, we'll say a few days ago.
A few days ago. Okay, more than 24 hours. Okay, down the vent I go.
we cut to Slippy and the gang going to the market for the market day. But before, actually, and then we cut into a flashback. And Slippy says to the
I'm
gang,
gonna do double fade there. I'm pumped.
yeah. So it fades into one, and then Slippy goes, no, not yet. And then it fades back into a flashback. And Slippy says to the gang, as soon as we get to our private quarters, it's just Slippy, Carl, and BBW. And Slippy says, guys, we really need to kill Pevins. If we don't kill Pevins, then they're going to find out that we knew about Cookie. And if they find out that we knew about Cookie, then we're going to go to jail.
How would they possibly find out?
Investigation.
That seems ridiculous.
Somebody, I've heard about
They can't
this.
possibly know that we knew that Cookie infected him. Maybe Cookie did that on her own.
See, but here's the thing. I'm pretty sure I heard stories about this. There's somebody who can tell if you're lying or not. I think it's something about old lady justice or something like that. But
Sounds like
yeah, so we need to.
I can hear the justice in your voice.
I think we need to deal with that sooner rather than later, because it sounds like Pevins went crazy, so no one would bat an eye if we just killed Pevins. And then we cut to the market where Slippy goes to the weapons dealer, and Slippy slams 150 credits on the table, and he goes, "Give me the hand cannon."
Oh, we got a big spender.
Give me the hand cannon now, please. I need it.
All right, yeah. They reach up and they pull a giant, it looks like a handheld blunderbuss, wide barrel.
I'm never gonna have 150 credits again. Give me the hand cannon.
145 if that makes you feel better, or I guess 147.
Oh wow. Okay, then I'll take the hand cannon and one canister of ammo, please.
And one canister of ammo, please. I'm gonna use it all on this hand cannon. All right, you have that now. It uses so much ammunition.
Uses 5.
Yeah,
per.
you get 4 shots on a.
CB, here's the thing. CB, here's the thing. I'm never surprised, so I'm always going to be shooting first.
Well, Slippy buys a hand cannon,
and then I guess I just sort of dump the rest of my encumbrance on the table because I can't carry that many things, and so I drop a bad gun and a rented suit on the table, and I say, "Do you want this?"
The rented suit? You're gonna just put it on the table? You're not gonna return
it? Oh wait, I forgot I rented that here. I actually do need that. I'm sorry. And then Slippy grabs the suit back. He does drop a.
I was gonna say this dude could be the same dude. Oh, the suit, and you have a gun?
I drop 2. No, I need those. I drop a energy pistol. I drop a bad gun and a worse gun on the table.
Bad gun and a worse gun.
And I say, "Do you want these? Would you like to buy this energy pistol or this bad gun?"
I'll give you 30 credits for them.
Great. And then do you take the suits here, or do I need to go somewhere else?
Oh yeah, of course. I pulls up your file. Yeah, it looks like it's due when you folks have returned from mission. I can take the suit back.
Oh yeah, I forgot that I rented this
suits and guns. That's what I sell.
Yep, I forgot it has the gun embroidered on the back, so I just didn't see it.
Yeah. I'll take this back. Absolutely.
What? My on again, off again.
No wonder you didn't pass for
ex-girlfriend Carissa loved the design. She kept laughing at it every time I turned around, and I forgot why, but now I know why.
She kept pointing and laughing. I didn't get it.
And then giving me finger guns. I didn't understand the finger guns.
But
I do now.
Are there weapons or interests the other two of you have here?
Well, yeah, Carl's
really
wants to buy some of that rare tech.
Sorry to interrupt again, though, but so I understand reach. Reach means I can shoot it from a long ways away.
Oh yeah, reach.
I understand plus 3 damage.
It's a ranged tag. It's useful for attacking something that's several feet away, maybe as far as 10.
Okay.
Perfect then. That is your limit of distance, I think, on the proper use
That's
of
fine.
this is 10 feet.
That's fine. I'm gonna be shooting at Pevins very close, I'm sure.
Carl, it sounds like I think that you're here highlighting the drone control.
Oh, that's just where I left my thing.
Okay. Is what are you interested in rare tech?
I think what Carl is most interested in is the heat knife, because that's something that could replace the blade as well on the staff and just straight up be slightly more useful.
Definitely,
because it would be able to cut through metal.
Yeah.
And the photon amplifier is also what he has his eyes on. Just because if we're firing 50 bullets, it'd be better if I can get 50 shots off rather than 25.
Or 50 damage off, yeah.
I shoot the whole squad.
100%. So the photon amplifier to your gun and the heat knife to this. Now it's an extendo stealthy.
It's a double rare tech.
It's an extendo heat zap and slice.
Yeah, and the
it's an extendo zap and heat.
and it's also
Because the slice
stealthy.
is now heat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it has Irinian on it, and so you can do a stab with your thing, or you can do a area effect with your lightning too. It's got so much effect. Holy shit! And now it has 2 piercing. Hot damn.
And I have a hand cannon.
You bought a hand cannon. BBW, is there anything that you're interested in here in the merchants?
I don't think so. I think maybe they'd be interested in
Yeah.
rare tech at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, you just got a shitload of spells. I feel like that's where a large core of your power comes from
Oh,
anyway.
yes.
Sweet. Okay. We're in the market. Slippy has bought a hand cannon. Carl has picked up some rare tech. Where, Slippy, it sounds like you might have an idea. Where do you what's the play here after the markets? Where do you guys
I
head?
think Slippy is like not sleeping at this point, and Slippy at like his first chance he gets, as soon as the night, I guess the evening cycle on the station takes place, Slippy just starts sneaking around to the lower sections of the ship looking for signs of Pevins. Whether or not the crew comes with is up to them. He's probably not quiet about sneaking out of the house, but
Okay.
Slippy to meet Cluster so bad.
Yeah. Carl, BBW, you following along with Slippy?
I'll slide right along with you.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay. Then we're gonna jump back to Hyatt Cola. You've just entered the vent. It's dusty, dark, and I don't know, just vent-like in here. But
it's very venti in here.
You know this path. You remember the tracing of it, and while that's a 2D map, and now you're in a 3D space, it's a little bit harder to traverse. After a little bit of time, you know that you've made your way down, and you're going down a little bit. You've cut back into the center of the station a little bit. Like if you were to go straight up, you probably wouldn't even come out of anything until you were in the command center. Like there's just ship above you, really. You're crawling through. It's a pretty long crawl, and you put your hand in front of the other, as you have been doing for the past, I don't know, 20 minutes of crawling or so, and it touches a squishy, fleshy substance, and you pull it back, and you look around, and there is, similar to that picture of the door with the fleshy substance kind of growing out of it and over the top of it, there are these fleshy, they look like a little bit like veins growing from where you're heading and out, and you're like, you've touched the end of one.
Okay. Well, first I'm gonna try and real quick scrub my hand clean.
I wipe it off real quick.
Yep, just real quick. I have in my like equipment set, I have a set of adventuring gear. Am I gonna roll with what it says in the Dungeon World book
Yep.
for that, or okay?
It's basically a thing that you could find in your adventuring gear. You have 5 uses.
I see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like your normal adventuring backpack. Anything that you think you could find in there. Slippy's bag has better stuff because he has a specific move for it. So he can pull out pretty much anything, except for some reason I made a stance on no grappling hook.
Did you take the grappling hook from Cookie?
I wasn't going to bring it up until later, but yes, for sure, 100%.
Oh God, yeah.
Like Slippy did not loot anything else, but Slippy immediately upon like we picked up your body, and you know we were getting it home after we got it from the bellhops, and they gave us like your backpack of your stuff, and Slippy just like was like, oh gosh, we'll make sure this gets back to the right place. Yes, everything, all of it will go right back to where it belongs.
Takes it out and puts it on his hip.
100%. That never left his side after that.
It's a memory of
everybody
Cookie,
grieves differently.
Yes.
Everybody grieves differently.
Okay. It says in here chalk. If chalk is fine. I'm gonna mark the edge of the fleshy growths, and also, like with a line and then also a date, and take a picture of that for evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Is it covering the whole, like if I move forward in this vent, am I gonna have to touch this stuff?
You will on and off, but like it's not like the surface becomes a flesh wall. It just is kind of, it's like veins kind of growing out as you can look in further. They seem to widen a bit.
Can I burn a second adventuring gear use for gloves?
Of course. Yeah, 100%.
All right, cool. I put on gloves.
You got
and,
gloves and chalk in your gear.
I'm gonna keep going.
All right. You continue down this vent. It does become more fleshy as you go. And there's like a point in which it has become like this web structure over the walls, and you can't really progress without just like being on it, like without touching it as you go. You can't really progress. There is more vent in front of you. Where you have found yourself paused is there's also like you can see they've webbed up over it, but you can see like a vent dropping down into a dark hallway. You can't really see really what's going on in there. You can just see the top of the vent. You might have to, pull them out of the way, but you can get out of this if you want. And based on your blueprints, where you should be is beyond that door in the bay now.
Okay. I think I am gonna rip up this flesh and like unlatch the vent so I can make a quick getaway if I have to. And then I think I'm just gonna hang out near this vent opening for like 15 minutes just to see if something happens.
How
Like,
are
is
you
someone gonna come and
ripping?
try and?
Are you like pulling the flesh aside, or are you like ripping a hole? Or are you just like tearing a hole through it to get through?
I'm tearing a hole. I think, yeah.
Okay, you tear a hole and you pop open the vent and you sit
Clench the
And then
flush.
and
I
watch.
park myself and I just got to see is something going to happen. And if it does, then it happens. And if nothing happens, then I think I'm going to keep moving deeper down the vent if 15 minutes goes by without anything going down.
Yeah, you sit and you watch and you listen. Slippy, Carl, BBW, where are you folks heading? It's nighttime now. You folks pull together and find yourselves. The only entrance we know of into this area is the hallway, even though it was in a non-canonical episode. It's canonical structure. The hallway behind the Quasar, the nightclub, the sort of living quarters turned nightclub.
I've never been here before.
The sheeting is still up. The lights are now on behind that sheeting, though. It's no longer a dark hallway. As you folks reach the sheeting, Hyatt, your earcom buzzes. You hear Cluster say,
Boss, you got that cookie crew heading in towards where Pevins was last seen. That felt like something I should report. Pursuit? Well, no, I was watching through the cameras. You want me to physically go down there? I'm not like one to confront a bunch of folk. I can if you would like.
Yeah, that Slippy guy bought a hand cannon today. I saw it on the camera.
Keep me appraised of their position and let me know what direction they headed when they leave the range of the cameras.
Yeah, we'll do, boss.
Am I able to see on a map their location in relation to where I'm at?
Give me a spout lore roll. I think that would be your knowledge of the map before, because you know where that spot is. This is more of a, and you can have the +1 still because you had that view of the map. This is more of a just like putting those two pieces of information together for you, how close you are.
It's a 12.
This is on the same level as this vent structure, where this current vent drops down. You would need to go up quite a ways, like forward quite a ways, and then you would take a hard right out of there. And after a little bit of crawling, there is a vent that you think would drop down into the Quasar.
Okay.
And possibly with that, there's probably another vent or so beyond that would drop down to the hallways beyond. But you would know that. You would with that 12, yeah, for sure. There's some vents to drop down if you want to surprise them.
Okay, cool. I'm still gonna hang out.
Oh yeah, no
my
doubt.
15 minutes.
Yeah. You folks have entered into this roped off area. It's dirty as fuck back here, just sort of unkept. There's some beer bottles, out and about. This is where people were coming to hang sort of off the cameras. What's your take on this investigation?
Well, I've got a hunt and track thing that I can roll, and this seems to be exactly what we're doing here. So I'm going to roll that. Slippy starts to Really take in the scene, see if there's any dormant clues that may not have been discovered or may have been discovered that would have been useful to Slippy as well. That puts me up to a 10. On a 10 plus, I get either oh, I guess I choose. Give me a useful bit of information about my quarry. And I guess I follow it successfully, the trail. Unless the trail ended, and then I guess the only one question that would make sense is I get to determine what made the trail end.
What you know about this is that Pevins acts with intent, right? Pevins did things that made sense, and now that we know who Pevins was, it's seemingly for the mission. Like, Pevins took action to complete mission and do that properly. So the steps that Pevins took were thought out. Like, where Pevins went, what Pevins did, this was all like thought about enough to like basically leave no trace. But the path back here that you see kicking through the dust and deeper than this general like off the camera hangout spot that is in the beginning is one of an erratic force. Like, the dust is kicked up, there's shit thrown over and knocked to the side. You can see that it's just like a force to be reckoned with. It seems kind of animalistic in its nature, bestial. But the path
this is about what I expected to see, and I'm not happy about it.
Yeah, the path is obvious though, where to go and how to follow, and it is down this hallway. And as you're going, I mean, it's lit back here. All of the fixtures are pretty dingy. Everything back here needs a cleaning, but the path is very obvious, going down the hallway, and it enters into one of these domiciles. It's about halfway down the hallway before another branch in the hallway. This is just sort of a, halls and halls of like living quarters. This was pretty much all living quarters that were shut down. So it's it leads just to a door. This door is shut as you approach, and it doesn't slide open as it would if it were unlocked when you step in front of it.
BBW, a little hand here, or I guess a foot.
I'm gonna
throw this door a birthday party. Make it open up to us through celebration.
BBW explodes.
Oh, and the door's open. Wow.
Is that one of your new spells? That's pretty cool.
Self-destruct.
Didn't expect him to break that one out so soon, but
Ooh. All right, I'll try to communicate with his door. Open. It says Commander Robots.
Commander Robots.
I rolled a 7 total.
7. It'll do what you want in exchange.
We're gonna say exchange for what would this door want? Can I offer it a birthday cake?
I'll offer it data, power, or proper usage.
Oh, I know. I want to start
Offer
talking to this door.
access to the data archives.
I have a premium account on the data archives.
What do you say?
Requesting access to come in.
The door, you get a little service report back from the door that says, due to just the sheer amount of time that it was down and sort of the damage that caused in the internal systems, it requires an extra boost to power to open.
I see.
Does it take 9 volts?
Does it take lightning?
9 of them.
And I think on a 7, it needs enough. You know that it needs enough power that you would have to put out a level 3 operation or above. You'd have to give that much power. So like lose one of those specific spells.
Okay. I can do that. Let me give you the power to open and close all you want. Just let us inside.
Yeah.
We'll write that in any type of code I can.
Which machine do you short out to do this?
Well, currently I'm not using my Stargate because BBW probably hasn't figured out.
You could also just short out the stud finder.
Okay, yeah. So what that does for you, BBW, and we I think we will at some point. It doesn't have to even be right now, but we will do a narrative discussion with Core, probably about like what these look like on you. just because it's interesting. Or like do a scene with Core to talk about one of them, and then when then you're like, now I want to use Stargate. We'll talk about what it looks like from that discussion in the past. But okay, so you're giving up whatever Stargate is to you to open this door. That shorts out. You feel the electrical jolt as you insert your, I don't know, cable or drive or whatever, and the door clicks on and slides open. It reveals a busted up domicile. All of the furniture in here has been broken in a way that is intentional. It's like been smashed and picked up and smashed and rearranged, and there's been dirt brought in. It looks like dust collected from somewhere. You don't know where this has come from, but the dirt and the wood and the fabric, and it looks like some gross fluids of some kind are creating these weird sort of found object mixture of found object and like natural pillars in the room. They look built of weird, like held together by these nasty fluids of some kind.
Guys, we need to kill Pevins now.
There is a creature leaning over something, and it is like eating as you folks.
Pevins, is that you?
Looking back here, and we cut over to Cola at the same time. Cola, you hear a few scrapings down further in the vent in front of you. It's echoing down the vent.
I guess I wouldn't have any kind of a light on me, would I?
I mean, as much as we've said that BBW, Carl, and Slippy always just have a light on their, bracer or whatever, that you would have roughly the same thing. A flashlight.
Okay, cool. Well, let's
Produce
shine it on
light
down
feels like the easiest
galactic
thing.
standard equipment.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Click my pen light. What's down here?
You click your pen light and you see 3 of these blob-like creatures, one on the ceiling and 2 in the corners of the sides, all running down the vent right towards you.
How big are they?
They're pretty small because 3 of them are able to fit
Pevins.
like in one space, but like, I don't know, like the size of a large house cat, I guess. But like I said, they got 3 bulbous legs that support an eye stalk and these weird clawed hands. And they don't seem to have mouths, but there's this hissing sound emanating from them in some way.
I think at least for one round, I'm gonna hack and slash one of them.
Yeah, with your fists.
Yeah, just with my fists.
Yeah, the first one gets close enough and actually jumps at you, and or the first one gets within your range and begins to jump at you. We'll say when you do your hack and slash roll.
Hack and slash. That's strength for sure. Okay, that's an 8.
The first one jumps at you, and you whip your hand forward and smash it into the wall like a bug, and it literally kind of bursts like a bug, sending some fluids out. There isn't much time to really process that as the second one jumps, and as it jumps, its body kind of condenses into itself into like almost a ball, and then these bone-like spikes protrude from it in midair as it is flying towards you. What do you do?
It like condensed, like it got smaller.
Yeah, it turned into like the size of a small bowling ball.
I've got one of my 3 supplies other than the lie detector. I have something called the Instabind, which is basically like I shoot a big snap bracelet out of my arm, and it just wraps around someone and holds them.
Mm-hmm.
I worry that they're gonna goop out of it, but I think it's worth a shot because I'd want to try and bring one of these things with me for evidence. So I'm gonna try and Instabind it.
All right, use machines. Use your Instabind.
That's a 7.
What's that look like on you? Let's see. Choose one of the following.
Choose one of the following. Okay. Machine malfunctions and causes a different effect altogether. Chosen by the DM.
Yes, I love that. You shoot this out and your focus was entirely on this one that had condensed into a ball, not realizing that the other one was like jumping right behind it. It had not become a ball. It was like more spreading out as if it was going to attempt to wrap you almost. But your Instaband, your Instabind connects with the first one, and it pushes it back into the second one and begins to try to wrap around them, but it can't quite finish its wrap. But it pushes this group, it like bounces them backwards and back down the vent a little bit before you can hear it like snap in on itself, as if it wasn't able to close fully. But something has changed down there. You shine your light, and they are standing up and getting out. You've bided yourself some time, but and it knocked both of them off of you, but it didn't capture either one of them.
Is the body of the one that I hit intact?
Oh no.
Enough?
Oh no.
Oh no.
They have less health than that.
We didn't even roll the damage.
Oh wait, 8? I thought 8 was your damage. I was gonna say you didn't roll to
8 was
hit.
my hack and slash roll.
Oh, what's your damage then? Sorry, what's 8 on? Sorry, that's on me. I thought that was damage. What is hack and slash on an 8?
A mixed success. I think I still get damage, but something else happens.
Yes. 7 to 9, deal your damage, and the enemy makes an attack against you. Okay, so roll damage. And we'll see. I thought 8 was the damage. If 8 turns out to be the damage, all still remains.
I mean, 8 could very well be the damage. I roll a D8 and a D6 when I hack and slash.
On mission, yeah.
That's a 4. Oh wait, +1 for my knuckle dusters, so a 5.
Knuckle dusters, a 5. You punch it, and I'm gonna say that you break half its body. Half its body remains intact as it flops to the floor. It also seems like with that, like they're burstable. Like it seemed ready to burst.
Root gushers.
Ugh.
Okay. I want to grab the largest chunk of the one that I burst, and jump out the vent. No time like the present to stop being in the vent.
You jump out the vent into a fleshy hallway. You look behind you. The flesh is pretty covered these walls. It is fully encompassing the door that you have found yourself beyond. With all of your info, you know that you are just on the other side of the door in the ship bay, where you've dropped down. You can see down a hallway. There aren't really hallways cutting off of this way. There is a sign that is flickering on and off above the door at the end of the hallway, and it as it flickers on, you can see that it says Science Bay through a cracked screen. And there are this Science Bay seems to be where the flesh is emanating from.
Woo-wee, buckle up.
Buckle up.
Pevins a bunch.
Slippy Carl, BBW, you've just opened the door to Pevins' gross domicile. It's been insectified into like the beginnings of a, I don't know. I guess the best word you folks would have for it would probably be hive, having talked to Cookie.
I see it and I do recognize it as Pevins. I'm like, that is an approximation of Pevins.
As the door opens, the face turns and you see Pevins' face distorted by these wasp-like mandibles that come out of his cheeks, and there's like an insanity in his eyes.
Slippy says, "I'm sorry, sweet prince," and then I shoot him.
Shouldn't this motherfucker have been a Chuchling by now?
He was, but
this is like ultimate
now.
Chuchling, yeah.
I rolled an 11, so I shoot him really good.
Yeah, I mean, Pevins, as you enter, Pevins turns and hisses and then leaps at you just to give you the broad space to fucking blast this fool at an 11.
I'm not surprised by that.
No.
And my damage is D8 plus 3. It's an 11. Good night, sweet prince.
I would like everybody in the room, for the first time this gun goes off, you're also in just like a metallic sound chamber. I want everyone to give Defy Danger Constitution. This gun explodes in front of you folks. I don't think that BBW and Carl knew what was about to happen. Like you might have. I don't even think Slippy
I said
knew.
we gotta kill Pevins.
No, I mean you might have been with Slippy as he
make
purchased
sure I
this
kill
thing.
him.
You saw the gun as Pevins jumped, and Slippy just reacted with the gun so fast, and the bang that occurs causes a ringing in your ears. Rolls.
I got a 5.
Who would mark
10.
experience? 10.
Yo, get that experience. I'm gonna catch up to Slippy soon.
Slippy, you are fine as you've done this thing, and you look back. Both the BBW Carl, you take this is through armor, 2 damage.
You guys look up at Slippy's ears, and he's got cotton balls stuck in them.
Your ears are ringing. Your, I guess BBW. This was
your sensors
it probably
are ringing.
Cracked one of your screens. Like it just was a pop that you weren't expecting, and it echo. You're like in an echo chamber. That was, you said 11 damage.
I did say 11 damage.
That's a lot.
You blast Pevins, and the lower half of Pevins is blasted off. The only thing that flops to the ground in front of you is the upper half of Pevins, who is still moving initially, like a few paws forward, and then it just like dies in front of you. Bloody mess.
Slippy leans down and closes the eyes with his hand.
You have any coins?
I just imagine a sad little.
And I'm gonna go ahead and call the Pevins bond concluded.
Rest in peace.
Rest in Pevins.
Rest in Evans.
Oh, that's glorious.
Now I have to come up with 2 bonds.
Hey, resolved.
It's more experience. Jesus. That was a good combo, buying the hand cannon and then exploding Pevins' lower half.
All of us up.
Perfect. Well, is there anything you 3 want to do in this room?
Leave immediately.
As soon as we stop moving, Carl's gonna sit down, but
close the door, please.
Are you leaving Pevins' body here? Okay. Covered in Pevins' blood.
Wait,
Slippy.
do we have like cameras?
I have in my let me make this roll really quick for my tools of the trade.
Why not cameras? I think that you have a basic.
This isn't even the future, and we have smartphones.
Right,
so like,
you have a basic like snapshot with a basic like storage in your, I don't know, your visor or your wrist cuff.
I figured just so we can
as well.
So we can bring back some form of proof. I don't want to bring like a head to the captain, but I also don't want to just walk back into his office and be like, done. Totally did it. Bye.
Slap the whole upper body on the table.
Slippy with a 10 pulls out of his tools of the trade 3 towels, and he passes them out to the group.
Hyatt, as you jump down into this space, you've just read Science Bay, your earpiece, it statics on, and you hear Cluster.
Hey boss, it looks like they're,
and it starts to static out as he is speaking, and in between that you get
leaving they look pretty dirty.
And it's just like staticking in between what he's saying.
Also, there was a really, really big bang a minute ago.
Jorgen. I'm in Jorgen.
Anything?
Yeah, boss.
Broke it. I mean, there's static around it, but yeah, boss got through. I'm going to say there's static around this whole conversation, but a majority of what is said will get through to one another.
I need you to mark my position and forward it to Captain Theodore Rake immediately, requesting backup.
Do that, boss.
Keep an eye on the rest of the crew as usual, but this takes priority.
Absolutely. To Captain Rake and some people to your aid.
Thank you, Jorgen. Over and out.
Okay.
Finally, a character who knows walkie-talkie.
You hear some hissing from the vent above you, and you can hear those creatures coming down the vent towards the opening, too, while you're standing here.
Good. other than the door into the science bay, is there any other exit from this chamber?
No, there is not. This is there is the door into the science bay.
That's not safe.
Yeah.
That's not fire safe design.
No, it's not.
There might be a door on the
None of
other
it's
side
fire
of the
safe.
science bay.
That's true.
Didn't you see
Space is
National
about the
Treasure?
least
There's always a
fire-safe
back
spot.
door.
Go ahead and use the fire escape. It's also called the airlock.
Fire needs oxygen. Space is the most safe fire spot.
Get out there.
So do we, though.
Oxygen.
I guess we're gonna open this door. Yeah, let's discern some realities on this door in this chamber. What can I suss out?
Yeah.
My wisdom is +0, I think. Yeah, cool. 8.
So this door in front of you is the lights in this hall are off. It's pretty dark in here. They may not all even be off, but they are. If they're not, they're covered by this like fleshy substance that's all growing out of this door. The door is about halfway open as this stuff is protruding, and you can see a small gap there. What's your first question or your question?
Oh, I'm torn. I'll be back. What should I be on the lookout for?
Back here, it should be totally dark, but there is the only source of light that is even giving this dim light is coming from flickering lights through that gap in the door in front of you in the science bay. Something's on in there. Above you, you heard that hissing from these creatures. You look up and into the vent, and at first you see their eye stalks poke out, and that like just looking down at you. They're not like approaching you anymore. They're not coming down the vent. They're just like peeking out, and then you hear a little. It's almost like a slurping, sloshing noise, and you see a little bit of that flesh like extend over the gap and like loosely connect and then tighten. It doesn't. It's not like continuous and quick. It's just you see that one strand happen, and you, I think, can get the idea of what is slowly going to happen.
Okay, well, they're gonna block the vent. Am I able to get back into the vent? Like, can I reach it?
Not like with a simple just jump up. You'll have to figure out a way to get up there. You had to jump down about a 10-foot ceiling, so it's about reaching your arms up, maybe about 3 feet above your fingertips.
He did canonically say that he's top heavy. He doesn't have probably doesn't have hops.
He's got punches. If you could punch your way up there, oh boy, you could do it in an instant.
Oh baby, I could punch that vent right down.
There was a rope.
If there was a rope, definitely. If there was a rope, if there was a ladder, hell yeah. Dude.
I mean, I could pull a rope out of my adventuring gear. That's an option.
If only you had a grappling hook.
If only I had a grappling hook. This is really the place for it.
This character would use it too.
That's true. No, in this case, we're gonna.
Too bad there's only one canonically, and Slippy now finally has it.
And I'm never letting it go.
One hook to rule them all.
You'll have to try this grappling hook.
We're going through the door.
You sidle up to this door and crawl through the gap and find yourself in a pretty wide, fleshy room. The lights are coming from a tower of computer screens that doesn't look like they were here before, but it looks like they've been arranged here. The thing holding them up is this wall, this fleshy, nasty wall. And in the center of this fleshy, nasty wall is the top half of what looks like a humanoid being kind of loosely hanging out of this wall. The computer screens flash different things. You see, I mean, just the sheer overload of information is pretty intense as you're looking over the screens. There's security feeds all over the station, different cameras clicking on and off of like just watching the station. There's some of like classified documents relating to various members of the station just like cycling on one station.
This humanoid figure, is this a human-sized humanoid figure, or is this a big humanoid figure?
It is larger than a human, like if you doubled the thickness in all proportions of a human.
They were trying to make Mewtwo.
And half of it is sort of just like slouched out of the wall. And as you enter, this half like picks itself up and looks at you and kind of cocks its head to the side. And the screens immediately all flash to different security images of you being looked at from different points of the room.
Okay. Kind of want to do a few things because I feel like this situation procs a regular move and one of my moves. I would like to discern realities in this room, but I would also, I think this is a thing I could use my investigative eyes on.
I do think so. Let's start with investigative eyes.
Okay. When you meet someone for the first time, ask them a question from the list. Man, dog, they're all so good. And so it's a situation where I think the one that he's going to ask is the one that I'm least interested in, which is what are your present intentions?
One of the screens that was flashing before they all switched to different angles on you. All of them seem to be information based, gathering information from somewhere. You saw a few connected even to different, maybe scary enough, but different stations aboard the like galactic orbiter. Like this thing is connected seemingly beyond this station. It's connected to, you might have seen a brief like ISC office emblem pop up over one. Like this thing has weird deep connections. One was of different it was just different scenic, beautiful vistas, beautiful views, forests, oceans, mountains, decrepit abandoned cities. And each time there is like a coordinate on there, and I think you're able to recognize, as you see like maybe 4 or 5 in this rapid succession, that each coordinate that you see all lie outside of the territory of the back Atmos. You get a sense that this thing is searching for something out in the unclaimed territories.
Oh.
The question that it wants to know is, what secret pain do you carry with you?
I think it's the same one from the last time that you asked me this. They never found the source planet from the organism that infected Mars Prime.
What do you folks do after having murdered, I will not say, okay, murdered is not fair. After having killed Pevins.
Put down
having
Pevins.
Mercy killed.
Having Mercy executed Pevins. What do you get about? Is this a split up moment? Do we all have solo things?
All right, gang, and now we never talk about this again.
Anyway, this
Talk
is
about
not
what?
hinder my operations.
I'll go to sleep now.
It's been a long day. I mean, like, you guys dealt with a lot. Yeah, for sure. It feels like
had a shower.
I might have
said helped, but only so much.
Hey guys, thanks for being there for that. I know you guys didn't really need to do anything, and that's fine. I was happy to shoulder that burden, but I'm gonna go to bed now.
Perfect. Carl, you heading to a nap too? It sounded like. I think I heard you say.
Yeah.
Okay. BBW,
The
what do you
solo
get
guy
up to?
needs a team, and the team
needs
one-shotted their guy.
Yeah, for real.
I guess I have some work to do anyway. Maybe I was gonna go do some techno prep work. You do not sleep.
Fair enough. Core is in the science bay, the science/tech bay, where you generally seem to do your technical prep work. As you enter in, it's not very busy here today. I mean, there's a few, workers about, but Core is hard at work at, fixing various appliances still around the station. That seems to be always what you find Core doing. Core does much more important work, but there's also the menial droll of everyday mechanics that Core still keeps up with. And you come in here to do your technical prep work. Talk to me about, let's see, I'm going to pick one of the spells you've chosen. I want to see how this sits on your body. I mean, Stargate to me feels the most interesting, because it's just like this cool wild spell. Stargate. You open a gateway to another dimension or plane of existence. You can pass through this gate, entering this location, or passing through it to get to another place in your current dimension. You can bring another of others with you equal to your level.
A number, probably.
A number of still a number of others sounds better, is probably what it should have been. If they are willing, you can send one target of your choice that you touch through by themselves. Wild. Holy shit. That's like an overall. Okay, so I think
Dimension Door,
yes. I think this is going to be tailored towards planetary. That feels right to me. Just like crossing the universe feels like beyond a 5th level spell. Teleporting across the planet.
Why would we have? Why would we even have spaceships if that was something that people could just learn to do?
Yeah.
Teleported robot.
There is. Let me look through here real quick because I feel like there was one I read, and it might have been the one I made for Hyatt Cola over here. Instant teleporter. This is what I feel like it is kind of fitting. And for his, it reads, this 2-piece machine can be used to instantly teleport yourself from one piece to the other. So you have 2 pieces. If you put one in one space, then you can teleport yourself from the other one to that piece and back and forth. And anyone can do that as well.
It might be smart to just give one of those pieces to someone else on the team at all times. That way, if you're ever split up, throw it on the ground. I'm here.
What's up? Okay. So like place something down, give it to somebody, and I have one piece myself. Or could I also get that to somebody else?
You could. You could.
Individually?
The one of the first thoughts that pops to my head is like an example use is to keep one on the ship and keep one with your team. That way, if anyone needs, immediately evac, you can fucking just boop them right to the ship. That feels like the easiest use. You could put one at the front door of an enemy base, and then when you guys break in, you'd steal your shit. You could just TP to the front door, but then at that point you could have it on your ship, and you can TP to your ship or whatnot.
True.
Yeah. That if that feels okay to you, that feels like
that sounds cool.
So what does that look like for you now that we've sort of clarified what this warp gate is? What is that? What are those pieces of machines?
I feel like this teleporter would already have been inside of ABW, just like truly inactive, as like some piece of like another party favor or something. But it has to be like a big piece of something.
Oh shit! What if you have a canister in you? It's been empty this whole time. That's why you haven't been able to do this. But it's like when you open the canister, a like inflatable pad comes out. It used to be a canister for like an inflatable like bouncy castle.
Right, because I do have the things at my fingertips to do that. Or if I just had like a
So in this case,
that sounds amazing.
Yeah, you send out that little piece of inflatable stuff, and it unfolds and it inflates and is like a inflatable warp pad.
That sounds absolutely beautiful. I think he would make that in the shape of like any sort of balloon animal. What's popular among the kids these days?
Giraffes.
PBW wouldn't know.
Giraffe.
Octopi.
You know what?
It just takes a lot of balloons.
Fidget spinners.
It's gonna be like this 3-tiered thing in the shape of a fidget spinner.
Yes.
Two of them played with.
Oh, I love it. Cora is interested and actually helps you do a good bit of this work. Hyatt Cola, what's up? You have just exchanged glances.
Hyatt Cola is looking for an exit.
And there's the door. The door that you entered. Schematically, you know that there is another door on the other side of the room. Logistically, that door is covered by a wall of flesh. In here, it isn't like webby walling. It's like the walls are made of flesh. The only tech peeking through seems to be these computer screens, various lights and tips of things, but like this thing has encompassed the room. And it is all emanating from this human-like body in the center. I imagine this is still bullet time, right? This is sort of like, what's your decision after, oh fuck.
Yeah, the Instabind's not going to help me here. What have I got?
Insta bind. No.
Okay. I have. I think I'm gonna have to burn another one of my adventuring gear uses. In the Dungeon World book, one of the examples they give is a pole. I don't know how they think a pole fits into adventuring gear.
Imagine just like the Facebook, like we talked about with Carl's pole. It's like the collapsible, but it's like a strong aluminum pole that when you uncollapse it is like, I don't know, 5 feet long.
How tall is this wall?
Like
Is
to
it
the
like floor to
ceiling?
ceiling, or could I get over it?
Oh no. The flesh is like grown over all of the walls. By wall of flesh, I mean like the walls are now made of flesh. It's not like there is just a wall and on the other side of it the door. It's like it's grown over the doorway, you know? Like it looks like it's all a
Okay.
part of the room.
I have found a dead end.
Twice in a row.
You have come earlier than expected.
I must say, I've come earlier than I expected too. Rain check.
I have wanted to speak with you since you have landed aboard the station, Hyatt.
What have you wanted to speak about?
Oh, a multitude of things. Your job is a rather interesting one. And some of the screens switch over from views of you to views of your classified file. And the pages just flip as if there was no blocks on these files. You are an interesting case, I will say. Mostly, I think we may be able to help one another. I have needed someone with the right connections, such as yourself, to bypass a few final layers. And I believe that I can give you a little bit of information that you might find useful. Over the course of its speaking, it got the sense that it was overwhelming you with its sheer level of voices, and they did all sort of coalesce down into this one sort of, maybe it kind of coalesced down into like 3 synced voices that are all just like hitting different pitches as they go down. I do not know how I'm going to EQ that, and I wish I wouldn't have said it.
Hyatt's going to discern realities.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the way to go. Come on, dice. No bonuses. That's a 9.
Ask one question.
I think actually the first thing I'm going to ask is my inquisitive intuition question. What do you not want me to know?
As it's begun speaking to you, the screens have gone back to a rotating, varied screens, varied security angles. Like I said, files being flashed here and there. There is one screen in between them all. There's a brief moment that it's up and you catch it, and then it flashes to something else, a different layout of the schematics. But there's a brief moment where you can see what seems to be how this thing has grown into the station, and you can see it growing down low and into the mechanics of the warp drive. It is, and the way it flashes away the thing, you get a sense that it tried to like hide that really quick. But it is literally rooted into the ship right now.
Not terrifying.
Certainly not. Not a large scale crisis. My discern realities question is, what is about to happen?
Wouldn't you like to know?
I really would.
Oh boy. The screens begin clicking to varied security feeds. They all seem pretty old footage though. None of this seems like it's happening. It's definitely not on the station. In fact, you recognize it. It's at your house from when you were a child. These are the security feeds you can get pretty quick of the ISC agents and their helmets that were entering into your house and investigating this. You see the security feed helmet from the helmet of the person who contained the life form off of your father's head. You see him like kind of grossly rip the thing out of the back of his skull and put it into this container. That one flashes on and another one flashes, or that one flashes off and another one flashes on, and it's back in the lab at the ISC. It looks old, different than you remember it, but it's definitely the lab at the ISC, and they're putting this container into a wall of storage containers, and as it before it like closes up, you see the figure get like frozen, and you know this, you've seen this happen before. This is where they put specimens that they can unflash freeze and still like they're still alive. It literally like freezes them momentarily, and it flashes to a shabby rundown building. It is nighttime. You are no reason that this shot wouldn't be coming from the galactic orbiter. The view is hiding in a bush. You're peeking out of the bush and you see a person pass with a dog as they're walking up a shabby doorstep and into their house. The place is loud. There is various things happening around the neighborhood. There's people walking about, and the feed looks down into a container, and in this container is the parasite pulled off of the back of your father's head. And the container opens, and you see the parasite scurry out and scurry across the street and into the house. And that feed cuts out, and several newspaper reports jump up of the next day of invasive species cropped up in blank space, a space that you recognize on the station. Like, oh, I remember there being there was an invasive species occurrence there. You never really heard the details about it. You just know that it had happened.
Golly.
I guess what's about to happen is this thing is about to give you some info. I don't know. There's nothing like popping out of the walls again. It's just that feed cuts off. They all cut back to images of you from around the room, and it sort of cocks its head.
What do you think about this, Agent?
You make an interesting proposition. Do you have a name?
A name.
A name.
I've had no use for such.
Father Cradle.
If you Father Cradle, oh fuck, oh fuck.
But if you must call me something, call me
Creation.
Creation.
Okay. You make an interesting offer. I'd like some time to consider it. You've given me a lot to think about. You clearly are wired into all of the tech, so I'm sure you have my base mail address. I'll be in touch. And he takes a really quick photo of the room and runs out the door.
As you reach for the door, the flesh pushes it closed, and it says,
Beans.
I would caution against including this in the daily report to the chairman.
And the door slides open. And as you actually step out into the hallway, the door at the other end opens as well, and you see like stacks of boxes and shit.
Bet you wish you had a hand cannon right now.
The stacks of boxes being the things that are in front of the door in the actual landing bay.
Well, like you said, lots to think about. Don't know who's telling what right now. I would appreciate some patience as I try and figure out what is true and what is not. You can definitely follow me on the cameras, so you'll know.
I have access to much truth. If you would like to see it as it is, you know where to find me.
I suppose I do. And I boogie. I'm out.
Boogie. As you exit out through the boxes and into the landing bay, there's no one really here, but the door shuts behind you, and that flesh sort of grows back over the front of it.
Okay. Now I want a nap.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think this is a good moment to draw this episode to a close. I will say we do so as everyone is laying in their respective quarters. You all receive a note from Captain Rake that Cookie's funeral will be held in, I'll say, 1 week's time, to get all the necessary preparations. For our point of view, we'll use that 1 week as station time. So we'll come back and think about what we want to do. Like, we're going to move forward as if Carl, BBW, and Slippy's lives are just continuing as if they would have if Cookie were here, right? It just makes the most sense. You guys do what you want. If you have stuff you want to check out, if you want to investigate
Cookie's wrapped
who
up
Hyatt
on
is,
our
but
perspective now.
Yeah, exactly. We're now into station time for you guys. So we're going to do station time. At the end of that week is a Cookie funeral. And then you can loosely imagine that with the way that should go, you guys will probably receive a mission at the end of that. We obviously know that canonically there might be some other threads going on, but that would be the way that it would go based off of what you guys know. So, but for now, session and questions. Did we discover something new or important about the universe?
Yeah.
I want to say something new would be,
Dude.
Yes.
Our ship's
Gabe
half organic.
definitely did. Gabe definitely did.
Creation has made his debut. Their debut, I'll say. Its debut. So yes, yeah, absolutely. That would be a point of experience. And since Gabe doesn't get solo experience, everyone gets 1 point of experience for that. The story has introduced us to something new. Did we overcome a notable enemy or monster?
I one-shot Pevins.
That might be an experience. I'm going to be honest. I'll remember that as a DM. You blasted that fool to
busted
pieces.
him.
You busted Pevin.
I'll never have 150 credits again for sure.
Jeez. Okay, so that was the last question. Did we overcome? Did we get a treasure?
A nice hand cannon.
I mean, your staff is incredibly upgraded, Carl.
Yeah, it's kind of fucking wild.
Yeah, I mean, I think that to me might feel like a treasure. This is
It is double rare tech.
The treasuring
now,
of
double
the
rare
last
tech staff and a
mission.
rare tech sniper.
Yeah,
rare teched out.
Yeah, I
You've got
mean,
an exotic in every slot.
Why not? Let's call it. Let's say yay. 3 total experience, all of the questions. Does anyone have a bond? Some people got lots of bonds. Let's start with Slippy because I know there's a yes there. Pevins is no longer.
I definitely don't have a parental bond with Pevins because he's dead.
That's checked off. Do you have? You have 2. So you have a bond. Where do you think that bond is going?
Well, I'm now even more suspicious about the captain because the captain seems very shifty right now. So I assume that bond will probably be investigated during ship time. And then I don't know about the other 2. I'm gonna have to come up with some bonds.
Yeah. Definitely. We'll talk about bonds at the start of next session.
I'm sure Gabe and I will talk bonds while we're on our work trip together.
Carl? You have any bonds?
I think that I've officially cleared my top bond, which is basically Carl was kind of wondering if the offspring were like actually individuals or if like the hive mind meant they kind of shared a consciousness with Cookie. And the fact that Pevins immediately attacked us means clearly that's not the same brain as Cookie because Cookie wouldn't have immediately attacked us. So Carl's like, okay, yep, they're all individuals and we can kill at will.
Yeah.
Yeah, now we're gonna have to kill Chutch if we ever see him.
From me to you guys,
just blamed.
Pevins snapped the moment that Cookie died. In fact, so did Chutch, but he's been out of the story for a long time. So did Chutch. Yeah. So that's fun. So 2 bonds for you too. For next time, we'll have to come up with some. Big Bud Wally.
I gotta revamp my bonds.
Okay.
I just keep forgetting about them.
No, that's okay. We can
Apologies.
yeah, think about them a little bit. I think it sounds like what we'll do at the start of next time is do like a little bond chat as a part of this. Hyatt Cola. You have any thoughts
Hyatt
on
Cola only had one
Mm-hmm.
bond.
Mm-hmm. Do you have thoughts on filling out 2
Um,
more bonds after this session?
No. I assumed that I would meet the rest of the gang and could like make bonds there.
Me too.
So no, I might consider a bond with creation
There's something big
because
here.
I already had like 6 cans of worms that I opened, and I can't. I'm not closing any of them. I'm just opening more. I have some conundrums to consider on that front, but at this moment, no. I did, however, do my alignment.
Oh yeah, what is your alignment? Is use your organization to inspire fear, admiration, or respect. Where did you get your alignment?
Bossing around Rake and that whole interaction.
Yeah. Did anyone else get alignment? I would say yes, 100%, actually, yeah. Avoid detection or infiltrate for Slippy.
I don't think I protected anyone. I just tagged along.
Yeah, we all just walked while Slippy had to do a Sumerian execution on Pevins to blow that trail open.
Crying to the side.
So yeah. Sweet. All right. So everyone, let's see. Okay.
Might
so
level up next session.
We all got 3 from bonds. Carl got a bond. Slippy got a bond. Hyatt did not. BBW did not. So yes. Carl, Slippy, 4. BBW, 3. Hyatt, 4 because of your alignment as well. So mark all those experience. Perfect. We'll return next time with ship time, cookie funeral, and a continued Hyatt Cola investigation.
Yes.
Pumped, man. This
Sounds
is
like fun.
awesome.
Fuck yeah.
Dungeons, Drive-Ins, and Dice is an actual play TTRPG podcast DM'd by myself, M. Williams. The players here this season are Lillian Ayers playing Arl the Octopus, Gabe Stringer now playing Agent Hyatt Cola, Lawrence Jennings playing Slippy S. Tombleson, and of course Dante Quiles playing Big Bud Wally. I want to thank you all for listening to this episode. Couple updates coming here on the show. We are currently approaching the end of our big first campaign here. Lots of big things coming to a head. I find myself very excited for the future, for the coming episodes. We've already recorded through to the end of this season and have our plans being set in stone for the coming ones. And on that note, I want to let you know that our table will be changing in this next season. We have an interim game coming up that will be announced shortly, along with our second big campaign. We'll let you know a little bit more about that coming up, so make sure you stay tuned. But just wanted to let you know our table will be changing. Some of the voices here on the podcast will be switching over. Gabe's lovely sister will be joining us on a lot of our future campaigns in place of Lily Ayers, who will be stepping down and out of the podcast. So make sure that you all give a warm welcome to our new player, Grace. She'll be joining here at the end of this campaign, in the interim and into the next one. So it'll be very exciting to welcome a new player to the Dungeons, Drive-Ins, and Dice table. If you want to hear the news and announcements as they go live, make sure you follow us on Twitter, I guess now x.com, at the DDAD Podcast. That's DDAD Podcast. Dungeons, Drive-Ins, and Dice. You can find us there. We'll be announcing all these upcoming things that I have sort of teased here. But thanks for listening to the show, folks. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next time.